is Gerard Comte, and I'm going to be your host today. Christian is also here today. He hasn't shaved, so he's not going to turn on the camera. I'm just going to connect. I'm just going to connect with Facebook because it's been advertised. If you just give me a second. And Christian, do you have any update to tell me today?
Well, nothing yet. We're working hard in lots of things, but for today, there is nothing.
Okay. Christian,
it's a pleasure to be here with Mark.
It's a pleasure to be with you, man. How is COVID in Barcelona? If you want to tell me just in a second, how are you living it? How FindThatLead is going through?
Well, we are remote working very good, I think. Our transition from the office to the remote work was pretty easy, as we are working already with Trello and tools like that, so it wasn't a problem. Obviously, people, it's a lot of time at home. You can go out and something it's a bit worried, but we're doing good work, so
Thank you, Christian. I think it would be amazing if one day we can share with everyone how FindThatLead deals with the transition, because we have been always having difficulties as well to adapt ourselves. And I think one of the important for everyone is you need to adapt. Adapting, it's the key to success. And guys, and I think the way we talk to each other and always be part of the team and give as much as you can to the community, like we're giving these interviews, and today is Mark Organ just about in the next few seconds coming up. And if you have any questions, Christian will be selecting the best questions. And just to say hello to everyone who is already here, Asif, Daniela, Jeff, Catherine, thank you very much for being here. Mark Santamaria, Rajev, Roxana, and Sasha. I don't see a lot of people today. It's in English. Usually it's Young No. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to share on Facebook, and hopefully it's going to be running okay. For everyone to know, go for it, Christian. Sorry.
No. Daniela said hi from Bordeaux.
Yeah. Okay. And for everyone, if you can check, if Christian can share the Growth Marketing and Abound, it's a community that we have built, and it's Facebook community. And it's basically to share your thoughts and points about Abound, call emails, and growth marketing, anything related. It's a good place to share with your peers. We do not sell or buy on these webinars, but obviously if you want to have a look at the FindThatLead website and click and check it out, we basically help the world to find emails. Hopefully everyone in the house know it. And I'm just sharing.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, hello, Mark. I am just posting on Facebook that the great and only Mark Organ is in the house.
Yeah.
Let me just see here. You know what? I'm very happy about one thing. Well, obviously to have you here, but that you're going to meet Christian, the CTO of FindThatLead, who's here behind with me.
Hi, Mark. It's a pleasure.
Hey, how you doing, Christian?
Because
thanks.
I talk about you and it's like, yeah, Mark is here. I'm like, yeah. And Christian's like, what? Christian is like one of those guys like, who the fuck is this guy, you know? And that's the beauty of Christian and myself. I always like, wow, Mark Organ, man, he's amazing. And he wants to know the real Mark and why you are so amazing, Mark. Thank you very much for being in the house.
Thank you. By the way, the video is blocked, you know, on your side.
Yeah, you need to allow.
Yeah, Christian.
Give me the admin and I will allow if you want.
Yeah, it's always happening like this. Okay, Christian, I just let you the power of the. Mark, what time is it in Toronto right now?
It is 10 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, not
it's
too
a
late.
Beautiful day. It's a beautiful day today. Starting to warm up.
It's raining like hell here in. Oh, nice to see you, man.
Yeah, this is me. This is the great city of Toronto. You can see the CN Tower. There's very little cars because there's a lockdown in the city.
Well, I see too many. I see way too many for a lockdown, man.
Yeah. Normally, that's a very busy highway normally.
Okay, Mark, it's amazing to have you here. For everyone, Mark Orbogan has become a friend. We met each other on SaaS Talk on the dinner just a few months ago. And I think we've been talking and you've been helping me a lot. Number one, thank you for that. But he's been also, he built Eloqua in the past, who was sold for 1 billion, if I'm not confused. He also, Influitive, it's an advocate platform or an advocate company. And I think most of the things that surprised me, Mark, is I read the messenger is the message, how to mobilize your customers. I took it in a plane, 3 hours read, and I read it from top to bottom. It was the first time I read the book from one book. You know, it's just like, I really love it because I never heard the word of advocates, and it's kind of like referral now we say it, but well, Mark, it's so much to talk and so little time. Thank you for being here, and here's the mic for you, man.
All right, my pleasure. Well, thank you. What would you, let's talk what you want to cover today.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mark, I was just thinking, if you want to tell, I told you a bit on the background. If you want to start, were you a programmer yourself or were you a marketing guy?
Yeah, you know, what am I? People ask me that. I think I'm just an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm someone who, I love to build businesses. I like to be contrarian. So I enjoy having a point of view that's different from everyone else. And I think the trick as an entrepreneur is to be contrarian, but still be right, which is hard because how do you do something that's different from everyone else, but yet you're right and they're all wrong? Now, that's a very hard thing to do. And the only way that you can do that is a lot of hard work, right? You need to discover a secret of the universe, right, that no one else knows. And so I feel like, you know, this is what I've been doing in my career with Eloqua. The secret of the universe that I learned was that the most important thing for sales reps to be effective was to have a steady flow of qualified leads. And the place to get those leads were on the internet. And I discovered that in 1998. So that was a long time ago. And I built a business around it. And I did something that at the time was very weird, which is I focused on B2B companies, which at the time, every other internet marketing software company was all focused on B2C. But mine was unusual in that it was B2B. And this is typical of me. You know, I try to do something that is as differentiated as possible. The more different it is, the more likely you are to actually be successful. So that was Eloqua, and you're right, it ended up being a big story and sold for almost $1 billion after going public. And Influitive also is built on a really interesting idea, and that is that the future of marketing is not about marketing departments at all, but it's about getting your customers to do all the marketing and sales for you. And I really still believe that, the more we get our customers to do the marketing and selling for us, the better we are going to succeed in life. So that's a little bit about Influitive. What my real passion is really around category creation, category design. If you look at what Eloqua and Influitive are, is they're both examples of categories that are now actually pretty big. The marketing automation category that Eloqua was a pioneer for is now worth over $10 billion. It's actually a pretty big category. The Influitive, which is around advocate marketing and community marketing, is much smaller, but I think it's going to be just as big. I think that that's also a $10 billion category that is going to be created. And there's room for lots and lots of players in that. So for your listeners who are interested in, if looking for ideas for businesses to run, I think that the advocate marketing, the community marketing space is going to have 1,000+ companies in it, each of them having their own niche that are actually quite profitable niches in there. So I'm really excited about categories, and one of the things I'm doing is I'm doing research on it. I'm working on a book on category design, and I have a coaching practice where I work with CEOs that are interested in building categories, and have an idea for some software around category marketing. So I think this is my next big thing, is around category design and marketing. In fact, this show is the first time I've ever discussed that in public. So,
I'm happy. Thank you very much, Mark.
yeah, it's only really been in the last week where it's all come together and gelled for me in terms of what the next few years of my life is going to be about. And so this is the first time I'm talking about it in public.
I like it. Okay, let's go and talk about this category design tool marketing that you're building. If you want to share whatever you can share at the moment.
Sure. Yeah. So the insight that I have, my secret of the universe that I think I figured out about category marketing is that categories are not created by marketing people. Okay, well, at least good ones are. Like bad categories are created by marketing people. Really good categories are created by getting out into the world and being almost like an archaeologist or an anthropologist and discovering groups of people that think differently, that have a different attitude and different needs from everybody else in the world. But because of technology trends or societal trends, this group of freaks that I call them, they're freaks, are going to become powerful and numerous. So an example that I've given is that, you know, there were some very smart entrepreneurs that discovered in the 1960s when they went to Venice Beach, California, and they saw Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno and all these old-time bodybuilders all lifting weights on the beach. And someone said, that's the future right there. Now, most people would look at these people and say, they're a bunch of freaks lifting weights on the beach and looking different from most men. But there's some entrepreneurs that said, I'm going to bet on these people. I'm going to give them products. I'm going to give them services. I'm going to give them content. I'm going to give them awards. That category has become mainstream. Now, you know, almost everybody in the world, you know, in the Western world anyway, everyone lifts weights in order to stay in shape. But there was a time where that was a crazy idea. And only a very small fraction of people actually did that. It's a way to stay in shape. And so the secret of the universe, I know, is that the secret of the universe is that there are groups of people out there that are going to become powerful and numerous. And the way to build a great category is to really bet on those people and really understand them in a lot of detail. What are their needs? What are their attitudes? Who influences them? What do they read for fun? You know, really understand these people in depth. And then all you have to do is just serve them. Just serve them really well. And if you've chosen wisely, then you will be a great category entrepreneur. And if you choose unwisely, the good news is, even if you don't choose wisely, you choose a group of freaks that honestly end up still becoming a small sideshow, you can still build a really profitable business. It just might not be big, but you can still build a business that can put food on your table and provide you with a lot of satisfaction. That's why I'm so excited about category design and category building.
I love it. And what you're saying is, instead of go and get the customer who's there or anyone else, it's just like kind of go study the market and build kind of a product for them. And you're just even saying, don't think so much about customer success yet. It's pre-customer success, I would call it.
Is pre-customer success. And it becomes, as an entrepreneur, it becomes your real source of power and strength, is that you've done this work that nobody else has been willing to do. And you understand these people in a greater depth than anybody else. So for example, there is nobody, I think, in the world who understands customer marketers like I do. I've interviewed literally hundreds of them. I also know, I think, more about what I call super advocates than anybody else in the world, because I've interviewed over 1,000 of them. These are people who do at least 3 pieces of advocacy a month. They do tons of referrals, references, they make videos, they make case studies, they do reviews, and they do an enormous amount of them. And I understand their psychology, honestly, as well as I understand my own children. I understand them really, really, really well. So when it comes time, when my marketing team gives me some marketing and say, what do you think of this? Or when my product team says, what do you think of this feature? I go back to my research because I know the people that I'm serving so well. And I can say, I think this marketing is good or not good. I think this product feature is good or not good. And it's based on the fundamental research that I've done. And nobody else in the world has done the work that I've done. And I think that's, you know, why so many entrepreneurs fail, honestly, they just don't do the work. Like, so many entrepreneurs are not willing to understand their most important customers, their most important users. They don't understand them in enough detail. Because it's that detail that allows you to be contrarian and right. Back to my first point. It allows you to do things that everyone else in the world thinks is either crazy or stupid or useless, but you know it's not, because you know your audience. So you can build something, like if you look at the Influitive product, it looks like no piece of software you've ever seen, okay? It looks like a video game. Like, there's no business software that looks like it. And the reason why we built it that way is because we understand advocates. We understand what they're looking for. We understand that what they want to do is during their lunch hour, they want to contribute to a company that they care about, and they want to have some fun. Because that's what we learned. We learned that actually having fun was important to them. And so that's why our software looks so different, is that we built it around the sort of unique understanding that we had about this group of people. So that's what I would encourage, entrepreneurs to do, is to spend more time with these special people that you want to serve, so that you understand secrets of the universe, and then you can build something that's special that nobody else would ever think to build. And I think that's actually the route to having outsized success.
I think it's a beautiful point, because we're always teaching the best tool for outbound, the best emails, and it's like, wait, hold on a minute, man. Go wherever you want to serve, study them, know their names, where they come from. And is that basically what you're saying? Stop using the tools for a minute and just really go and take a look who's going to be your customer. Can you even choose what category you want to be in?
Yeah, I think look, it's not for everybody. It's funny, because when I started Influitive, my wife said, "Why are you doing this?" Like, because she saw, the rise of Eloqua, and took a long time, 12 years for Eloqua to go public, right? And she saw how it was so much easier she thinks so much easier for Marketo and for HubSpot, which are competitors of Eloqua.
I see.
She just said, why don't you just do what they did and just build a better mousetrap? A better
Eloqua, a new type of thing, and that's it.
Yeah, just build the same thing, but with a couple of extra bells and whistles, make it easier to use and whatnot. And she has a point, because honestly, that is a shorter road for a lot of people. It's just not the way that I think, and I think there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there that really are driven to want to create not just a company, but they want to create a whole ecosystem. And so I think part of it is driven by the type of entrepreneur I am. But I also think, interestingly, that it is a safer choice. It's a safer choice for me. Like, for some people, it's a much more safe choice to say, well, I see the Eloqua thing, I know it works, so I'm just going to build something else like it. And that's safe. But for me, it's actually less safe. For me, it's much more safe to be building for a group of people that I understand really well. And that even if that group of people don't become powerful and numerous, that I'm still going to be successful. I'll give you an example. I have a friend of mine who has built a category around people who do permanent makeup. So there are some women that, maybe men too, that instead of having eyebrows,
like the lips and stuff like this.
Exactly. They tattoo the eyebrow instead of having a hair. Mm-hmm. It's not for me. But, there's only a few hundred of these people in the world who do this for a living. There's a few hundred people. Now, I guess my friend thought that one day there would be lots of these people. Well, they're not. But you know what? He has 80% market share. He has built some products. They have like a webinar. They do all these things just for these people. And you know what? If you own 80% of something, that's good. You're going to be very profitable. And he is. His business is very profitable. It's not going to be huge, but it is very profitable. And you know what? There's worse things in life than to run a very profitable business. That's actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. But if you get it right, like let's say his bet was right, and that one day there would be millions of these people, well, then he'd be a very rich man. But he's still very comfortable and happy. And so that's why I actually feel like it's a safe choice. And for some of your listeners, this is one way to go where you can build a very nice life for yourself as an entrepreneur. But you're not going to get an exit quickly. Exits using this approach are going to take at least 8 years.
I think it's that picture that some of us seen, like the fish in a bowl. Which one you want to be? You know, it's like a big fish in a big ocean, or just a big fish in a big bowl. And I think what you're showing today is the commodity of building your own category, making a product for them, and targeting them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I also, one of the parts I think you told me in the last call that we had, and I think it's beautiful to share, is about people, advocates, people who recommend your product, and they do it because money, the recognition. Because I was saying, yeah, Mark, we give 10% to everyone who shares the product, and people should be crazy. It's like, Gerard, people don't care about the money. If you can share us a little bit about this point, and because I think it's so important, it was such an eye-opening for us, for me and Christian, that it would be amazing if you can share it.
Thank you. Well, that is good. So you're right. I am building a category about category creators. It's very meta. But as you might expect, given the way I think, I've done a lot of research on people that are interested in building categories. And one of the things that I've seen is that a lot of them have like a void in their life. They have a hole around significance. They feel this need, and I'm one of them, right? Maybe I understand them really well.
Me too, man. Me too. I'm on the same boat.
Yeah, like there's something, it comes from their childhood often. Like there's something about the way that they were raised that makes them feel like their need to create more significance for themselves. And actually I did some work with, with my coach about where did that come from me? And I think where it came from is like, so I grew up Jewish, and my mother used to always tell me, see, look at all these Nobel Prize winners that are Jewish. Look at all of the great scientists and artists and economists, whatever. You should be one of them. You know, we are not, we're not here in this world to just, eat and procreate and whatnot. We're here in this world to make a real impact on the world. And it's something that my parents taught me. And I think it's one of the big drivers that I still have today. And when you talk to a lot of category creating entrepreneurs, they have this burning desire to make a dent in the universe. And so now that I'm creating, and by the way, my website's going to become, it's categorynauts.com, like astronaut, but category. So you'll see that coming soon. But, my job is to serve these people. It's to understand their psychology and to give them these feelings of being home, of being, satisfied, about being with their peers, people just like them, right? And so, but yeah, you can see that I've done actually quite a lot of work at understanding these people and how they think. I think that I'm going to build a really cool brand around these folks, and you'll see that unfolded next year.
I love it. And I think it's such a beautiful one, because obviously you are a serial entrepreneur, not because you said, because you've done it. And what does it goes in your mind when you start a business? Okay, you choose the category. Is it next step how to get users, customers, venture capital, build a product, and exit? Do you make actually a roadmap on 10 years, or you just like, fuck it, let's go all in?
My first step is to build a community. And it starts pretty informal. Like when I started Influitive, I built a mini community on LinkedIn of people, and I reached out to my colleagues and said, this is what I'm excited about. I'm excited about advocates and mobilizing advocates. Whoever's excited about the same idea that I'm excited about, I want to talk to you. So I started talking to them. I put them in the community. I have one today for Category Knots. It's just a WhatsApp group. It's really simple. You're welcome to join, Gerard. And we have group calls every Thursday, and we talk about this stuff. But I start with the community, and the community really helps to design the company. Like the community helps to design what the product should be, what the content should be. And so I start there. And then the next step is often, once you have your mini community. So the mini community might be somewhere between, 8 and 25 people, let's say. Okay, that's your mini community. the next step is to build a manifesto, the position document that basically indicates what the purpose of this community is. What is the purpose of this company? So very much like the Communist Manifesto, or like, you know, the Bible or whatever, or the Hewlett-Packard Way. You know, this is basically, this is what we believe.
Our vision, mission.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, maybe it's a mission. Yeah, like it's more of a statement of purpose, right? So at Influitive, what this document said very clearly is, we believe that the future of marketing are the customers doing the marketing for you.
Woohoo.
Period. That's what we believe.
Simple.
And this, it's it. And this is what the tenets of it, are.
Has it always have to start like we believe, or can it be something?
I really like we believe. I mean, I'm a big fan of, you've probably seen the Simon Sinek video, Start With Why.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen it. And there's a reason why everyone loves it. And it's because it really speaks to us, right? So, you know, people buy, you know, why you do things, not what you, not what you do. And I really believe that. And the earlier you are in your life, the more important the why is, right? So this is what we believe. I'm still working on exactly what that statement is for category design, but it might be something like, you know, we believe that designing your category is one of the most effective ways to build a great business. I might just start with that. And if you believe that too, it might not just a ways to build a great business and to give us feelings of, you know, being fully satisfied or something like that. There's some psychological angle to it. And that's my why. And that hopefully will attract the right people. It won't attract everybody. There'll be a lot of people who see this and go, I don't believe that. That doesn't make sense to me. But then there's some people who says, that is what I believe in the core of my being, and I want to join your church, right?
And it's funny because you're not talking about if they do SaaS or oranges or do brown coffee in the morning. And I think it's just so good because it's actually the purpose. I want to make people happy through X and Y, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And this is what, you know, this is what we believe. Like, we believe there's a change that we're going to see in this world. This is the world that it's going to change this way. This is the beautiful picture of the world that we're, you know, that we're painting. And we're looking for people who believe the same thing. You know, in the early days of CRM, which I see I'm an older guy, right? So I remember the very early days of CRM, you know, Siebel and Salesforce.com, whatever, in the late 90s. And they had a very powerful religious message. It's just as powerful as the Christian religious message or the Muslim religious message. And their message was this: we believe that the most important thing is to build your business around your customers. That's it. Build it around your customers. Put the customer at the center of your business. You should not have your accounting at the center of your business. You should not have your product at the center of your business. The center of your business should be your customers. And there are a lot of people who said, yeah, I totally believe that. I want some of that. You know, I want to join your religion. I think that's, you know, I think that's great. That's, I think it's so powerful that you start with this manifesto and this very simple thing of what it is that you believe. You know, the more radical it is, probably in some ways the more effective. You know, it's more polarizing. I think that's good because people want to feel like they're part of an exclusive tribe, right? They want to feel like they're part of a movement that's different from a sense of mission, as you said, a mission that they really believe in. And so it's good if that mission doesn't appeal to everybody. It's good if it only appeals to a small set of the population. And hopefully you've done a good job in that set of the population will one day be powerful and numerous. And then, you know, you can build something that's as powerful as the, you know, Christian church, or as powerful as, you know, the nation of the United States. Seemed like the United States was one day was an idea. That's all it was. The United States was an idea, right? That every human being is born free and has a right, you know, for life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. That was the American idea. And that idea attracted people who took arms against their colonizer and declared an independent nation.
That sounds so far, man. That sounds so far. It's what you say. It's amazing. It's like it's so important to think like huge, large, like building, because if not, you cannot even. You stay small and little, and you can. The word doesn't go. Doesn't it sometimes thinking, because with Christian we have it, he says to me, Gerard, don't think too big, be more realistic. Is it true? Is it better to be realistic and keep there safe? Or is it just like, fuck it, let's think that we can be the number one in our area?
I think it's fuck it, we could be the number one in our area.
Okay, yeah,
however,
that, okay?
There are lots of people with big dreams. Okay, there are lots of people with big dreams, and they paint a beautiful picture, but they don't do a good job of bringing it back to today. Okay, so it's possible for the American, the American colonies to have a big dream about their freedom one day, but they need a battle plan on how to deal with, the largest and most powerful army and navy in the world that's about to come over and deal with that. You need a plan, right? And without that plan, there are a lot of practical people, like maybe Christian, who might say, I'm not on board. I'm not on board because.
Well, he's always on board. He's the best guy. But let's put the example of someone else.
You need to draw, as a leader, you need to draw a path, to go there. A good example here might be Elon Musk, who always works this way. And Elon Musk had a very powerful idea. And he said, we believe that one day, every car will run on electricity alone. No gasoline, no petrol. Big idea, right? Well, he created a manifesto, and he said, here's how it's going, and here's what we believe, and here's how I think it's going to work. One day, every car in the world will be like that, but it's a long way from here to get there. So here's where I'm going to start. I'm going to build a great sports sedan. I'm going to start there, the Model S. We're going to charge a lot of money for it. We're going to use all those profits to go and funnel back money into battery research, to miniaturize batteries, and to scale up batteries. And that way we're going to be able to build, smaller cars and less expensive cars so the masses can enjoy them. But that was a 10-year process, 10 years. And he wrote that 12 years ago. He created that document. And the crazy thing is, he open sourced it. He gave it to everybody, including all his competitors, and said, here, this is what I'm going to do. And probably everyone laughed and said, no way. But you know what? He did exactly what was going to be in that document. And so that gives a lot of power, like a lot of belief and confidence to his people to say, not only do I see a big vision I believe in, you better believe that Tesla employees are very excited about that mission. They are very excited to not just build a new world where there's no pollution from cars, but also, these are beautiful vehicles with high design and lots of other things that he wanted to do. So they believe in the mission, but they also see the path to get there. And so as a leader, you got to do both. You need to be able to think laterally, to envision the world. You need to paint a vivid vision of that world, but then you need to think linearly and say, what are the steps that we need to do in order to get there?
I think it's beautiful because you placing an idea but Mark, what are because ideas are the key of success, but it's 1% of the success. What if you can give us a few tips for filling up the rest 99%, which is basically, what the fuck do I do to make my product company idea to become reality? I mean, just not just from the idea, but actually I would say more execution. Do I have to work 14 hours a day? Do I have to drink coffee at 5 o'clock and take neurofrills, whatever? It's just more like execution on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. This is getting to some of the work I do in coaching. As I mentioned, I coach 7 CEOs now, and a lot of it, especially now in this COVID time, does come down to individual work habits. I don't know what the situation is like for people listening, but in Toronto, there's a lockdown. The kids are not in schools, so there are a lot of challenges with doing work in addition to, managing children and the household and whatnot. It's definitely possible to build a business without working, 18 to 20 hours a day. In the early days, it's a little tougher because, you often don't have a lot of employees. But I also think there's new options now available where you can hire contract labor inexpensively and on demand that was not really available, when I started in Fluitive. There was no way to do this 10 years ago, and I know a number of entrepreneurs that don't have any employees at all. They have 6 contractors that they found on Fiverr or Upwork or whatnot, that really, helps them share the load, quite a bit.
Well, we know Nathan is doing a very good job. David Hensel is also doing a lot of things like that. And I think it's a lot of kind of solopreneurs, small categories, growing big. And if anyone here in the show or reading the blog later wants to be part of that, you teach them, how can they reach you? How does it work, Mark?
Yeah, sure. So right now, again, I'm creating my website still. So the best way to reach me is, often on social media. You can connect to me on LinkedIn. Again, my name is Mark Organ. On Twitter, I'm Mark_Organ. My email address is not particularly sexy. It's
check it on FindThatLead. Check it on FindThatLead.com. And
check it out. Okay, FindThatLead. We'll make it available on my contact information where you are. I am looking for more CEOs to coach, so that is something that I'm interested in. If you're building a business and you're, let's say, at 2 million, at least 2 million ARR, between 2 million and 15 million, and looking to get to the next level, that is something that I do help with. And it's
Mark, actually, I'm just going to do a little gift for you. We are going to send a list. But anyone who is in the call, please contact Mark if you are between 2 million and 15 or even more. Christian, can we give a list to Mark about CEOs that makes between 2 million and 15 million in X and Y?
Sure, of course. Whatever you want.
We'll send you a gift in the next few hours. Okay?
Wow, that's huge, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a great.
You've been helping me
that's
so
an
much.
awesome service. And I do think Look, I'm hearing great things about FindThatLead in the marketplace. I know a number of entrepreneurs that use your service and they love it for exactly this type of thing. And yeah, it's exciting. I'm just starting out now to do some marketing, and I can't wait to use your service more as a way to pinpoint the right kinds of candidates for me to work with.
I think it's the same the time we met. I think it's people that have to meet, and we have like serving, that energy of serving. And I think you're just an amazing person that you serve and help anyone who's around. I think it's so beautiful. And I have been having sessions with you, and it's amazing the pinpoints that you give to me on the talks. And I think you've been helping already myself so much.
Great. All right. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. You mentioned a book. I'll just show you.
Yes, please.
Show people the book for people who are interested in.
We will share the link. The message.
The messenger is the message. It's all about how to get your customers to do more of the sales and marketing for you. But you'll also get some ideas of how I think. I mean, there's a lot of me in this book, right? So if you're interested in building a category creating business, if you're interested in designing your category, you will get a lot of ideas actually from this book that'll give you some insight into how to design your category better.
What I like about the book is the case, the sample, the case studies that you based. It's not just for super big million companies, but also like companies like FindThatLead. And I think it's beautiful that everyone was on that book.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
And Mark, we have 4 more questions. And the number one is one gadget that you cannot live without. And it cannot be your iPhone or your iPod or anything like that. It needs to be something.
Yeah, no, actually, I just got this new thing, which is really cool. I want to show it to you guys. So it's called the Neo Smart Pen.
Okay.
And what it does, so I'll show you. Let me see if I can, where I put my pen. Let me see. Well, I got the special notepad here. So basically, it's mean, this is a notepad, which you probably can't see. It's got like tons of little dots in it. And then there's an electronic pen that tracks everything that you write, and then it sends it to your computer and does OCR on it. So I'm old school. I like to do handwritten.
I am old school, man.
Yeah. No, and you know, there's a lot of science behind it. That when you write things down, you remember it much better than if you type it. So I like to write things.
Does it put this onto Word?
Yes. It puts it right. It puts it right in a Google document. It's called Neo Smart Pen. It's a pretty new innovation coming out of Korea. I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. Hang on 1 second. I got it.
Okay.
I think we should buy one of these for you, Gerard, too.
Yes, please. Actually, that would be very nice.
So this is the Neo Smart Pen. You can see that there's
I see.
There's an optical reader in here.
Okay.
It charges here in the back is where you charge it up.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Doesn't it go out of battery when you need it?
What's that?
Doesn't it go out of battery when you need it?
It has. I mean, it's lasted for me 3 days on a charge. Okay. So I charge it every 3 days.
I like it. It's
worked well.
Okay, yeah, we'll have a look. I think, Christian, we can talk about a little gift to me. Anyway, Mark, one book that changed your life, and can it not be the message is the messenger is the message from you?
Yeah, well, writing a book definitely did change my life, and I would encourage, especially category designing entrepreneurs, to put your thoughts on paper. Writing a book is a painful process, but it's really wonderful. But you're right. I won't talk about that. Oh man, there's so many books.
The last one
in the business for business. I mean, the one that really there's really two that come to mind in business. One is Good to Great, which a lot of people have read, but it's so good that I really do reread it every 3 months because it teaches what a great business looks like and how to get there. So I think that's really powerful. I also love the Innovator's Dilemma, Innovator's Solution. If you want, Innovator's Solution is the sequel to Innovator's Dilemma. And it teaches you how to build a disruptive business, right? That allows you to take advantage of new platforms to build a great business. I'm actually rereading it now because me and my family decided that we want to buy a farm.
Nice.
Totally random. But we decided, there's lots of crazy, scary shit in the world these days. Okay. And I think it'll be great for us. It'll be fun for the kids to have a farm. And we're looking to buy an egg farm. But I'm reading the book again because I don't want to build an ordinary egg business. It's going to be a very special egg business. And we're thinking about ways to do it differently and in a disruptive way to build a really interesting business.
Why not wine or something like that? Eggs.
I think eggs are great, man. I think it's nature's perfect food.
All right.
I'm a bodybuilder. I like to lift weights.
Yeah, you do.
Eggs are full of protein. They're full of fat. There's no carbs. Wine, I do like wine. I especially love Spanish wine. So when I go to Spain, we all drink a lot. And it's great. My wife drinks a lot of wine.
You're invited, man.
But yeah, I think that I think eggs are nature's perfect food, and it's a screwed up business in Canada. It's a big mess, but I love it. The bigger mess it is, the more opportunity there is for disruption. The more opportunity there is to build something truly interesting. So I'm seeing does the Innovator's Dilemma offer ideas on how to do well, not just in the software businesses that I know, but in an old school business.
I love this egg. Okay, Mark, 2 more questions is the best holidays that you had in your life. Where one place that we should all go?
Best. I mean, I've been to so many great places.
Last one, probably.
The last one that I went to that I think is very underrated. I was just in Korea, and I think it's an underrated place. I think it's
South Korea,
awesome.
I guess.
Korea. I went all over, but I've been both to Seoul, which is a big, great city, very advanced city, technologically advanced city. But then there's an island called Jeju Island in the south, which I think is just as beautiful as Bali, but it's got a Korean flavor to it. And so I really enjoyed myself there. You know, your home city of Barcelona is also a fabulous place that I highly recommend to people.
And just to finish up, one Chrome extension.
Chrome extension. I'm not big into Chrome extensions. Let me see what I've got. Let me see what I got on here.
This one, the first one that you see.
You know which one I see that I really like?
Which one?
It's got a crab on it.
You're the man. Thanks, Mark.
Scrabin.
I love you, man.
Yeah, Scrabin is awesome.
Okay, I love it. Thank you very much. It seems like it's not meant to be like this, but anyway, thanks, Mark.
No, this is true. I have used Scrabin. I think it's awesome.
I love it. Thank you, Mark.
Actually, you know, there is one that's pretty cool that you should put on your radar. It's called Command E. Command E is the world's best way to search things through all your SaaS applications.
Command
E, command space E. So Command E, you give it your logins of all your SaaS apps, and it's lightning fast. You put in whatever you're searching for, and you get it all. So searching your Salesforce, your Trello, your Airtable, all your SaaS apps. It's a pretty new company. It's only 18 months old. It's a new startup, but I think they're killing it.
Is it like PyPython? Does they do like search? Well, don't worry. We'll have a look.
Yeah.
And we'll share.
Yeah. It's just kind of like the search on your computer, but it does it through your SaaS apps. There's really nothing else that really does that job like Command E does.
I like it. Mark, thank you very much for being in the show. We're going to be sharing this with the world hopefully in the next few days. I'm going to put it in a blog. If anyone is between 2 million and 15 million, please contact Mark, because if he agrees, he can coach you. And Mark, thank you very much for being in here today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Well, to everyone, thank you very much for being in the show. Mark has been here. If you have any questions, please go to FindThatLead and check Mark Organ. And as everyone, next week we have, tomorrow we have a webinar from FindThatLead and Guillem Serra on Friday. Check the website because more news. Thank you, Mark, and thank you to everyone. Best wishes. See you to everyone. Bye-bye.